inside Thursday night. How's it going? Alright, strip back, good crack, multi-trade podcast. Share the knowledge you know, help to make our sector grow. Everybody's learning from experts and the journeyman. Insights.
Right, Season 7, Episode 2. I'm Stephen Buckley.
And I'm Keith Allahan.
And this is Insight, the Stripped Back podcast, sponsored by Robus Lighting, the world's leading LED lighting company.
And also brought to you in association with Snickers Workwear Ireland and Velocity Pro Gear.
Another good episode lined up for this week. We've got an old friend of the podcast, Richard Cockerline, joined us for the Overload segment.
As we always say when we have him on, it's always great to catch up with him and see what's going on in the UK and see what's going on in his life, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And I had a message on Instagram, and I think it might have been on LinkedIn as well, from an Irish tradie. His name's Cian O'Reilly, and he was looking to try and come on and speak to us about mental health and trying to raise awareness around it. So I said, come on in.
Yeah, 100%.
He was happy enough to accept it, and he's here tonight.
Yeah, delighted to get a fellow Irishman in. Look, few and far between people looking to come on and, you know, share their story. And look, he's a bit of a background as well, but he also has the business side of it as well. So he's got his own company, and he's got guys working for him. So he's going to share that insight as well, which is great.
Yeah, I guess we won't hang around any longer. Let's get rolling with it.
Let's get stuck in.
This podcast is coming to you from the Robus headquarters in Dublin, Ireland.
Robus are the world's leading LED lighting company.
So make sure you head over and download the My Robus app and see what they have on offer. Thanks, Richard, for joining us for Season 7 Overload segment. It's been a while since we've had you on a proper podcast episode, and it's great to have you back again. Number one fan.
Well, you know, it's good to be back on. Season 3, I think, was the last time I was on.
Yeah, no, it's always great to have you back on.
I'm always happy to be on. Always happy to chat to you too.
We were doing a few van chats and stuff recently, which we're going to try and roll out a bit more frequently when we get the chance. But like I was saying to Keith, it's great. Like we said, we'll get on for 10 minutes, and we had you on there. What was it? Last week, was it? I think it was 30, 40 minutes. 40 minutes we were nearly chatting for.
I know. Was what they call a Marble Master? What's his first name?
Paul Collins, yeah.
Paul. Yeah, he was on. Yeah, he's an interesting bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no holes barred with him, you know.
No. You need a bleeper button.
You kind of have to limit him to 10 minutes, because if you give him any more, you know, what's the saying? If you give him rope.
Yeah.
We were saying, obviously, with the likes of yourself, Richard, and other people who we've had on through the UK and stuff, who reach out to us and jump on and, you know, are willing to support us as an Irish podcast. It's great, like, to have the support from the UK and the likes of yourself and Carl and Kimmy and Theo and everything. Like, it's amazing for myself and Keith to be able to even get on a Thursday night and talk to the likes of yourself. And, you know, we just want to say a big, massive thank you to you and everybody else who has supported us in the podcast and got it to where and helped us get it to where it is now. So thanks very much for that.
That's no problem. You do all the hard work. We just get to listen. You've got to do the editing and find the guests and organise it all. And I mean, you take time out of your life to do this every Thursday night, and then however long it is for your editing through the week, and you must spend hours doing it.
I've got to be honest, I spend 0 hours doing the editing, and but I think you're forgetting the one thing. It's hard work listening to us sometimes as well. So fair play to you.
Yeah, I guess you get your nice drive on the Monday morning, get it on, and it just whiles the hours away while you're driving, because I do a few hours.
Yeah, we were talking during the week and on the live, and you're doing a job at the moment that kind of it requires you to do a lot of travel. Do you want to share
Yeah.
this on the podcast just so everyone knows and then you feel great about yourself?
It's 2.5 to 3 hours each way every day. At the minute, I'm just other side of Newcastle, and if you hit traffic or an accident, you just sat in it. But you two are saying, aren't you, having to get through Dublin city centre?
Yeah.
Because you were saying you work a lot on the south side, don't you, Keith?
That's right.
So you've
Yeah,
got to travel backwards and forwards.
yeah, we're probably not as bad as yourself, Richard, but probably around 3 hours a day, I'd say, traveling, say between jobs and getting to and from the work. So, yeah, look, it's just part and parcel of it, isn't it, at the moment?
It is, yeah. So, what do you two drive, by the way? I mean, Keith you'll buy your own. I'm assuming Stephen gets given whatever you get given.
I've the company van, so I have a Ford Transit Custom 211, so it's not bad. Diesel, heavy on the diesel, heavy on the AdBlue, but company fuel card, tag for the tolls, tag for the inner city parking. So can't complain, you know what I mean? It's the joys and the benefits of employment, you know.
I'm driving the Peugeot Partner, so it's the smaller of the Peugeots. But we've other vans on the road, so we have 2 Transit Connects, and we have another Peugeot Expert, so the bigger Peugeot. And unlike Stephen, I have to pay for me tolls, I have to pay for me diesel and stuff. So I think the tolls could run us about 300 quid a month. And then diesel, well, I'm putting about 150 to 200 euro in a week. So the other vans are the same. So it's probably about, I don't know, could be close to 800 quid a week on diesel.
Yeah. I mean, the toll for me is £5 a day, and I'm putting around £70 in every 2 days in diesel.
Jesus,
there's some going. What are you driving yourself, Richard?
Pardon?
Are you driving a van or your own personal car, or what are you doing?
At the minute, I'm driving a van. I've got a new Transit Custom.
Oh, lovely.
The other lad's on holiday, so I get to drive the van every day.
Ah, great.
But when he's not there, I've got the pickup, so that's even heavier on diesel.
Yeah. Is that the new Custom, the brand new one?
Yeah, it's very nice.
What's that like?
Really nice. Got everything in it. You can, compared to what we had before, which was an old Custom.
Yeah.
Just aircon, heated seats, heated windscreen, the full, well, everything, the big screen that does your sat-nav, music, phone. It's just...
No sweaty bum anymore?
No, you're using it like an office. You want something that's comfortable, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a mobile office, really.
It is, yeah.
Well, you must get through a lot of voice notes on the way home and the way to work, because I think you must get through maybe 15 minutes on the way to work, or get off in about 15 minutes on the way back. Sometimes you could do your own podcast just with the voice notes, Richard.
Well, I've had a few people message me today and said, I've just got back to your voice notes because they're that long I didn't listen to them all. Or they get halfway through them and the phone rings and they forget to come back to them. But yeah, I suppose I'm like a packet of Pringles. Once I pop, I don't stop.
No, I personally find it nice when there's a message there from Richard just to see how things are, and like in fairness to you'd be even asking about the family, see how the family is, and it's just nice to have a fellow electrician, even if it's across the pond, that it's checking in with us to see we're all right, you know.
Well, that's it. It doesn't take any time while you're driving home just to drop a note on someone to check how they are.
Yeah.
Because you might be the only person that's spoke to them that day, and just to see how they're going. And I'm here. If somebody wants a rant, a moan, a cry, a scream, a shout, whatever, just drop me a message. I'm happy to listen.
Ready to go.
I can't really do much about it, but I can listen.
Do you find yourself reaching out, or is there anybody reaching out to yourself, like other podcasts and stuff in the UK, looking to get you on? So I think you do have a good story to tell.
I did one a couple of years ago. I've done a couple of blogs with different, like there's Jackal Workwear and Toolbox Talks. They've both done a little bit about me. And I have got a couple of other podcasts that have mentioned me going on, but it's just a case of finding time to get down to the studios to do the recording.
Well, that's the main thing. Like, we're actively trying to get you over here to Robus HQ, and I think we might get you some stage this year, hopefully.
Well, John Ford, if you're listening,
yeah, we'll have to tag him in it.
Put up or shut up, John.
I tell you what, John is one of the nicest blokes you can meet. I speak to him as much as I speak to you, and yeah, he probably sees me ringing him and think, "Oh God, not him again." But no, he's. You can. The thing is, though, you can just ring someone for 5 minutes, and then an hour later, you're just still chatting, aren't you?
Yeah, John has that effect, all right.
Yeah.
You were telling me there, Richard, during the week we were catching up, like, about, you know, family and what's going on. Like Keith mentioned, like, you know, a bit more personal chat and stuff like that, like at home. And you were mentioning there your daughter's heading off with the choir to go abroad, and they're looking for a bit of money to be raised through maybe fundraising or GoFundMes and stuff. Would you like to tell us a little bit about
that? Yeah, proud dad moment. She's been selected to be on the squad that's going to represent Great Britain in a choral competition in October. So they're off to Barcelona for 6 nights, I think it is, competing with choirs from around the world. They're not a bad choir. They're ranked 5th in the world, so they're pretty decent.
They could hit a note or
two. It costs a lot of money to send them out there. So different people doing different things for fundraising. Keris and some of the other girls are going to do a sponsored sing where they walk around the boundary of Sheffield singing for a full day, however many hours it takes them to do it. Some of the choir are running the distance from Barnsley to Barcelona, getting sponsored for that. So yeah, we're just trying to find. You can sponsor kids. So I know a couple of companies that I'm speaking with are going to try and throw some money at me so we can get some sponsorship for Keris. So yeah, I'm going to try and get something set up where I can put links for GoFundMe page on my page that's linked to the choir.
Do you want to tell us, Richard, what's the rough cost that they're looking at?
I think it was, last time I looked at it, you're looking at around £170,000 to send the squad. So it's not a small amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's just everything costs. When you're sending 60 odd people on a plane, it costs a lot of money. Strangely, if you're booking a full plane, it costs more than if you book it individually. Because she was lucky enough to get selected to go to South Africa last year, and I think that cost around £250,000. I mean, the flights alone were £120,000.
Yeah,
just for the flights.
Then accommodation and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, food, everything, just insurances, buses to get you around, everything. It's not cheap, but it's what she loves, it's what she enjoys, so it's what you do for your kids, isn't it? You make it happen for them.
We should have got her on to sing the new theme tune for the podcast for this season.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I like Tony's.
Yeah, Tony's is good.
Tony's class.
I sing Tony's version all the time to myself.
Yeah, catchy.
Especially when you see him, he pops up on Instagram, and like first thing you do is you start singing theme tune in your head.
There's a good ring to it, all right.
Yeah.
It was great to have just even somebody just willing to do it. You know what I mean? It's amazing because not every podcast out there has the luxury of that type of gift. You know what I mean? But just back to your daughter there and the chorus and stuff. If there is any charity raising any money or a link to any type of GoFundMe that you're posting onto Instagram, make sure to send it our way and we'll get it shared across the podcast platform, and we'll mention it on the podcast throughout this season as well, like just to try and ramp up a bit of money towards it.
Thank you very much. That much appreciated. Like I say, it's a charity at the end. It is so they don't really get much funding from out of town places. So we just do what we can to raise money.
What's the rest of the summer looking like for you, Richard?
Busy, thankfully. Plenty on. We've got all over the country though. Again, we had all over the north of England, going from site to site. Got student accommodation. Hopefully, the refurb of Leeds Bradford Airport. Few warehouses to wire. Bits of all sorts. And then come September, I'll be back on the safe isolation bandwagon, banging that drum, making sure everyone listens to me about that. I know some people get bored of it, but it's something that I'm passionate about and do. So it's just what I'll be back on doing that. I mean, I don't stop.
Yeah.
I'm constantly posting about it, talking about it. I had someone today send me a picture. It was in the wholesalers, and he just sent me a picture of all the different lock-off kits and how much they were in his wholesalers.
Yeah.
I think it's nice when people are just, they see that sort of stuff. Think of me. I mean, there's loads of other good sparks out there that are getting behind this campaign. But it's nice that people are thinking of it.
Yeah,
and actually doing it.
We've had just a recent family member that just had an injury at work, like a very serious injury at work, like, and it just does sort of hit home.
Yeah.
The importance of safety, like when it comes to workplace, you know what I mean, and the likes of yourself and everybody else who's pushing the boat out, like in regards to electrical safety, is amazing, because you do it all on your own time, you do it all off your own back, like, so fair play to you for doing that, because I know that we've had a previous episode where we have pushed it before, and look, we'll push it again for you as well. Like I said, it's something that shouldn't be overlooked.
Well, it's funny that he's brought up the safe isolation as well, because just today I had two of my guys out on a project that we're finishing off at the moment, and we needed to fit just a double socket. So what we usually do is we isolate the whole board, you know what I mean? Usually we'll put the lock and tag on it as well, but the lads, just because it was such a short little job, it just proved the point even more. Just because it was a short job doesn't mean you don't do it, because the lads knocked it off and went about changing it, and a plasterer decided he was going to turn back on the mains, and my apprentice obviously snipped through a live cable and nearly blew himself to Timbuktu, But it just shows the importance of it, like even in small residential situations as well.
Yeah. I think it's like in Stephen's case, you go on a site, he's got to do what it says.
Yeah.
You go on to, when I'm doing commercial industrial, they have rules there, they have procedures to follow. Whereas in domestic that you're in, it's a bit of a Wild West, isn't it?
It's free for all. Yeah.
Yeah. If an accident happens, like in maintenance or in industrial, people report it.
Yeah.
If an accident happens in domestic, we've got HSE. I'm not sure what the Irish version of that is, but you're not going to go and report it and say, "Oh, one of my lads has done this today."
No, the main
factory.
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, the main foreman over the site, just like, so we obviously notified everyone that the power was going off, like a 10-minute job. That looks nice, by the way. 10-minute job to just change the socket, basically, and said, like, 10 minutes, we'll have the power off for 10 minutes, and they just put it back on, So,
yeah.
You feeling me under the table?
Oh, yeah. Just seeing that Guinness there, it's got to be going, But
you'll be able to have one later.
It's the likes of Safe for September and everything else that goes with it. Like, you push out a lot of content around that time on, Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And I think if there's anything like that's, and more important than that within the industry, I don't think it can be, advertised as much across any podcasts, or, if it's companies getting behind it, if it's tool companies, if it's, the likes of sponsors that we have, that should be the big push, like for the likes of yourself, to if you're putting that time and effort in, that they need to be backing people and they need to be showing their support behind us, because at the end of the day, like you said, if it saves one person, from a horrific injury or a life-changing injury or even death, you know what I mean, then that's it. It's
a job well done,
yeah,
isn't
job
it?
well done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's watching or listening to this, if they go onto YouTube and search for Michael's story, it's a story of a spark that went to work one morning, getting married soon, but didn't come home. And his sister Louise, she goes all over the country now talking about it, campaigning about it. She's one of the main instigators behind the Safe for September campaign. And it's an awful story to have to listen to, especially if you hear her say it. But unfortunately, it does happen. Like I said last time we were on, it's something like 13 people a year die. And that's the ones that reported.
And they're the stories that have to be told as well, because unless they are, it doesn't really hit home. Like everything in life, you have to have a case study, and unfortunately for those people, they are the statistics, and you have to hear them as well.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're invincible, and we're not really, are we?
No, that's why I said I'd bring up that point, even in the residential side of it. Like it's the same thing, just on a smaller scale, but it's the same outcome.
Yeah.
And like the likes of today, the foreman, his excuse was, sorry, that's my bad. We needed to get something done, so I told the guy to put up the breaker. Like, it's like, now, luckily, no one was hurt. We lost the pliers, but it wasn't a life. But at the same time, it's still it's not great, is it?
Richard will sort you out with a new CK pliers now. He's
ambassador
now. Is that what you said?
I'm not sure about ambassador, but I have got some very nice ones that they sent me. The new handles are nice. I'll swap you a pair of side cutters for one of your velocity bags.
Yeah, we've got a nice one teasing us here in the background. That's going to be shown very soon.
No, fair play to that. The likes of Velocity and even Snickers and stuff like that. The bits and stuff like that come along with it are a really good bonus. Like, it's nothing to sort of lie about with that. Like, but as I probably mentioned to yourself, Keith, before, and other things, we've practically given away nearly everything that we've got from every sponsor. It's gone to apprentice or a giveaway or something like that. It's always about giving back, you know what I mean? So the likes of CK with yourselves and stuff like that, like everything that they're giving to you, you're using, you know what I mean? It's going to good use. It's not like you're repurposing it and it's going up on eBay or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? They know it's going to good use. They know that you're putting it up there, and you're knocking out the content. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're one of the probably the most prominent guys that you could see out there for somebody who, I won't say of your age group, that is actually knocking out good quality content compared to you see some of the young lads coming into the game now and the girls coming into the game now. Like, you're up there, like, on par with them.
I try. I'm not brilliant. My editing's not very good, but I try and just do what I like and just film it, shove it out. There's no point. I think some heavily edited stuff, you can tell it's made for what it's made for. Whereas I don't. Some of it's fun, some of it's educational, some of it's, I put a picture up yesterday or today where I cocked up. I'd gone through one ceiling tile, underneath, and back up through the others.
I've seen that,
And and then went into the cupboard, made the head off for the fire alarm, come back out and thought, oh shit.
Richard,
but
as you're a number one fan of the podcast, we were going to do this season now, like, so we're throwing it up a gear this year, and we're going one major interview and a bit of an overload, right? So we're going with the song choice still every year, right? With every episode. And we were going to sort of leave it off with the overload chats this year, but we said, seeing as you are a number one fan of the podcast, we'd give you another go at song choice for season 7. What would it be?
I That's right. I weren't expecting this.
Love catching them on the hop.
Actually, I know. I will go for a choral song. It's one that I heard when a South African choir came over to sing with Keris, and then Keris sang it when she went over to South Africa. It'd be the Drakensberg Boys Choir and Great Heart. Yeah, I go for that. You've never heard of it, and it'll take some fight, but it is. I really like that.
If it's on Spotify, it'll go on the playlist. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, probably will be.
We'll find it somewhere anyway.
Find it
I know
anyway.
it's on Apple, not on Amazon, because I found it on Amazon.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll find it. If not, you can send us over a recording of your daughter singing it or something. We'll stick it up there.
Yeah,
But,
I'll find one.
the battery's about to run out on the iPad. We never charged it.
Right.
But what we'll do is we'll wrap this one up and we'll look to try and get you over here for a proper in-studio chat, get you on the challenge wall, have a good go at it. And I guess that's all we can do. We'll leave you to your Guinness and all the best, Richard. Take it easy.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Take it
Nice speaking to you.
Cheers, Richard.
Take it easy. Ta-da.
This is Insight, the Stripped Back podcast, sponsored by Robus Lighting, the world's leading LED lighting company.
And also brought to you in association with Snickers Workwear Ireland and Velocity Pro Gear.
Cian, thanks for joining myself and Keith. Delighted to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Great to get you in. Like we were saying before we come on, it's hard enough to get Irish lads to come in and, I would say, bare their soul and have a chat with us too. So fair play to you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, yeah.
Delighted.
You reached out to myself on, was it LinkedIn?
I think it was through the Instagram, wasn't it?
Might have been Instagram, yeah. I followed yourself through LinkedIn and obviously I'd seen it back and forth and stuff like that. And as Keith mentioned as well, it's great to be able to open up like as tradesmen, even, between like electrical and HVAC and plumbing and all that, and just get lads reaching out, even if it is just feedback on the podcast or, just touching base on how lads are doing. Like, and I know, and we'll touch on it obviously later on in the chat, like regarding mental health and stuff like that. And I think, that is the epitome of it. Like, it's lads just making that first initial, step and just reaching out and writing a message or sending a voice note, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even with myself, like I'd done a video on Instagram and I think I recorded, once it was actually just a practice to say what the mic was working like on my phone, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I just rolled with it and I said, you know what, like I'm at the sort of talking about an important message, I might as well throw it up, like, Whereas before that, I would have never even barely took a selfie on Instagram, you know what I mean? And it was just like, look, it's a good message to put out there, especially in the trade, like, I don't think it's really talked about enough other than the likes of this podcast as well, like, but the likes of that, I said, I'll go for it, it is what it is, like, I don't really look into, like, people's opinions on me in terms of, look at him doing that, it is what it is, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were the same, setting up this podcast as well, like, we would have chatted to each other and said, like, what's the premise of it, like, and in the early days, it was just, like, getting on, having a chat with other sparkies or plumbers or wherever else, any other trade. Like we weren't niched into one thing. So like the hardest part is just getting it going, isn't it? Really
letting it flow. Then
Did you find there was feedback? What was the feedback to that? Like you put up the video of you talking in the van or whatever. What was the feedback like?
I was shocked. Like I put that up and I was threw the phone away. Like, you know what I mean? But I was actually shocked. There was a good couple of like local lads, like people from my area. Like I know there was an awful lot of like deaths due to suicide in my area, and not even necessarily suicide. It was young lads coming off the likes of motorbikes, car crashes. Yeah, like just sudden deaths, like, Yeah, but the likes of like just little conversation that I was having with people, like that's going to work and that finding work that's getting them out of it, like a good hole.
Yeah,
like, They're probably if they're going out and they're only having a few drinks because they know they're in work the weekend. Whereas if they weren't working, it's running into the Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, and it's just like it's staying out all night partying and drinking. I did find that, but with the conversation that I was engaging with other people, they were saying the exact same thing. They were saying to me like, it's keeping them grounded, staying in work. That was the sort of conversation that I had. And then there was just another, but there was an awful lot of messages from like strangers that I didn't even know, like, you know what I mean? They were like messaging me, like, and I was shocked. I was took back by it, like, you know.
That was something that you hit a good point there. That's something that no one's ever said in the podcast before, that the work was actually keeping them grounded, keeping them out of trouble. Because usually you're hearing like you're so busy in work, and you know what I mean. You're letting loose on the weekend, and your lifestyle is just absolutely terrible. You're not making time for other people and stuff. That's actually another way of looking at it. Like, some people have too much time in their hands, and the work is actually keeping them on the straight and narrow. So you hit a good point there.
Well, you know, you've probably seen it yourselves, you know, in the drawing room or whatever on a Monday, and there's people dying and probably still drunk, like sitting in the drawing room getting ready to go into work. But it's the likes of that. Like, it's just, I think the likes of, now I know they are. I was on a couple of sites, and like, you know, the toolbox talks, and they do bring up mental health, and like, but I just think it should be definitely more pushed in, and services for the likes of alcohol and drugs. I think that should be more talked about as well on site, like, you know, because 9 times out of 10, like, there's lads in there, and they're probably, I don't know if they're drinking or
probably not safe to be on site.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
that's something that like, I was invited to a function there through the Lighthouse charity there recently through the podcast, and they're coming on later on this season as well. But what their goal is, and what they're trying to push, like, through us and through the podcast and through anybody within the trade industry within Ireland at the minute, is that they exist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that the things that you mentioned there, like in regards to, you know, say substance abuse or alcohol abuse or, you know, mental health issues or even traumas from childhood that follow people like through their teenage years and into their adulthood, that they can appear at any time, like in a worse moment or the worst possible moment that you could find yourself needing support, you know?
Yeah.
And to highlight people's struggles through the likes of these chats and through podcasts and through the likes of the Lighthouse charity and all that as well is, you know, amazing to think that if one person heard it, or, you know, if one person was just listening to this right now and was in that moment, that they know where to go or who they can contact, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, even with the likes of that Instagram, that, like, the post that I put up on Instagram, like if that helped one person, I'd be delighted, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for the sake of me putting up a video that lasts me 2 minutes, you know what I mean? If one person got some sort of motivation, or not necessarily motivation, just even the push to say, look, I probably am in that little rut. I am gonna, like, contact the likes of Pieta House or the Lighthouse, the charity, like, you know, like the stuff that there is obviously services out there. It's just getting the urge to do it,
or getting someone like
making
yourself.
that step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, getting someone like yourself, or you see a lot of influencers have, you know, reached out with it now as well, and, you know, it's the awareness and all that kind of stuff as well. You know?
Like, even like, I know I'm going back to the Instagram again, but the likes of that, like, I'd look at that and I'd be delighted to see a message that somebody was struggling, but not that. I'd be delighted to see that somebody's struggling, but they're reaching out, and my DMs on that would always be open to people. Like, I'd never look and say, Jesus, does somebody else text me? I'd be delighted to say, like, fair play to him after text me, or her after text me and saying, like, they're in a bit of a rut.
But you're opening that door, like, when you put up that post, on that, people won't know that your door is open.
Someone's just waiting for that.
Like.
And they see your door is open, they see that, well, there's a guy who's willing to speak and talk about these things that could be unspoken, you know what I mean, at the best of times. So to be able to get that message, sometimes people don't even want to, you know, they don't even want to reply sometimes. They just want to be able to release, you know what I mean, and just maybe vent to somebody, you know what I mean.
They just want to get whatever they're going through off their chest, you know what I mean. And if it's a 5-minute text conversation with me, that could be it. Yeah. And then they're going in work, they're probably refreshed.
And even with the likes of yourself, like, they could be looking at you and saying, well, there's, like, business owner from Dublin, like, who's willing to, you know, open up himself. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, that'll stem down to anybody, like, you know what I
mean? Even the looks of, like, you know, like, if lads are only going out on their own, and now I'm no perfect businessman, I'm still finding my feet, I'm still learning.
Yeah, which is stressful.
Yeah, it is, you know, but, like, the looks of that, if anybody was similar age to myself or younger, and they're thinking of going out on their own, again, my DMs are always open for the likes of that.
Yeah.
For lads to reach out and say, like, what did you do here? Or whether it's in ventilation or electricians or plumbers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's something we can say.
Yeah.
To help.
Just go for it, or, you know, like.
Yeah, watch out for this, or.
Yeah, like.
Don't do this.
I'm no accountant, I'm no businessman, I'm no big entrepreneur, but.
Come down to, like, even van insurance and, you know, stuff like that. Like, people stress about it.
Down to even, like, when I started on my own, I didn't know how to string together an invoice. I didn't know PO. I didn't know, you know, simple things that you should know when you went out on your own. But how I end up going out on my own, like, that's a different story that we will touch on. But
Paul was one of the Teletubbies, wasn't he?
it could be just a simple little thing, like, you know, that you probably just got pushed through something. But
you see all these, like, abbreviations, and you're like, what the hell are these letters and what do they mean? Like,
look for a number off me for what?
like even sending quotes and all, like, and like I'd say I'd be good, like, with my hands, and then down in terms of like getting together on the laptop or sending quotes or doing emails, like, I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
it's back to school type, isn't it?
Like, and I never done my leaving cert or that, so I was never really good on computers or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
there's no question you're from Dublin. Whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in Belcamp, just beside Darndale, and then we moved out of there when we were 8. Oh, well, when I was 8, say, and then we moved down to Balgriffin, Castlemoyne and Balgriffin.
Closer to the sea.
Yeah, closer, up near Port Marnock, yeah. A bit posher, the posh side of the north side. But, yeah, no, that's where I would have grew up. Now, I always, like, that's where I lived, I'd say, is in Balgriffin, but I would have grew up around Coolock.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where, like, my school, I went to Chanel College in Coolock as well, so I just sort of grew up down, like, up in Coolock, and that was. What
was growing up like? What was school life like? Were you in sports?
School, growing up, everything was great, like, you know, like, I'm always grateful of my mum and dad, like, it's, like, I'm lucky that they're still happily married, like, you know, even, like, everything was great. We had, like, my brothers and my sisters, we had everything growing up that we needed, like, you know. School was grand, like, I was good in school, I wasn't a messer, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was, like, no, I done my junior cert and I got good results, good grades in my junior cert, you know, but in terms of, like messing in school around, I wasn't really into that, like, you know what I mean? I got along with all the teachers, I got along with all the lads in the class, it was just, school was grand, like, you know, I just wanted to work and make money.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do, like, you know. Like, I thought I'd never leave school just to get a job, get an apprenticeship. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, whether it was carpentry, whether it was electrician, ventilation. I hadn't a clue what ventilation was when I left school, you know what I mean? But I ended up getting into the ventilation then, like, you know. But yes, like, school was good, like.
You were younger than us, but was there any jobs growing up? Did you manage to tie any jobs down before you left school or anything like that?
I would have worked with my dad down the papers. He was self-employed down the papers, so I would have went around with my dad, sort of like running into the shops.
Yeah, he was driving, and you were getting the work out.
Yeah, so we actually had a run out in Balbriggan. Around, you know, like around Knoll, Old Town.
Yeah.
It's a Ballyboggle and all.
That's right. Yeah, you're probably
all around there. And then we went into the, you know, like, would have been, 2014, I would have been 14 to 15, say.
Yeah.
Going around there, but I still remember all the routes and all, but I was working with my dad there, and then...
Taste for the money.
Yeah. But then, at the time, I was working with my dad, he ended up going to prison.
Right.
You know, so, at the time, it was just a bit weird for me. I didn't really know how to understand it, like, you know. I would have been the only person working in the house, like, you know.
What age were you then when your dad?
I would have been 15,
right.
15, so I would have been 15 when he went to prison, like.
Do you remember that whole process of that happening?
Yeah, I was actually on a paper run with another driver. He obviously was in court, like, you know. He was in court, but I was with another driver, and I came back, and it was just, you know, like, just madness in the house, like, you know. But And I think he got what, a year and a half. It was over tax evasion or something. He was self-employed and he didn't pay his taxes or something like that.
Didn't do it right.
Didn't do it right.
Like most
Yeah.
people.
So I'm like, here I am self-employed. I'm saying to my dad, what do I do? Taxes, don't ask me.
The worst man, Dad.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that would have been a hard enough time, like, you know, like just watching me man, all like obviously you're obviously gonna miss your dad or whatever.
You the oldest.
No, we have an older brother again.
Right.
He actually was working. He would have been working as well, but I was sort of doing
Yeah.
the papers with
Doing
my
it.
man, like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
giving her a dig out more or less. Like, then I have a little sister and a little brother as well. So yeah, that's what we would have done.
Tough,
then.
yeah. Tough,
Yeah, that was
tough hours.
during. Would have been during the summer, around the summertime, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you worked so closely with your dad, and did you find then that when he left, then
See,
you were taking that role nearly over? Like,
Yeah, so I was always with my dad, like, and then when he got out, I got closer to him again, you know, like, and even like when we touch on about my losses and stuff like that with grieving and all, like I trust my dad with anything, like, you know, and my man, like I don't know where I'd be without the two of them, you know, like, and even now, like, still, even my partner now, my girlfriend now, like, I just have good people around me that I'm grateful for, like, because I know people are probably in broken families and stuff like that, whereas they will only probably need the counselling.
Yeah.
Now, I've done counselling as well,
Yeah.
but like the relationship with my dad and my ma, like, and obviously my girlfriend as well, got me out of like a massive hole, like, you know.
Did you manage to keep his paper round going?
I did keep the paper round going, yeah, I did, yeah, and
Yeah,
he
'cause
kept that then when he got out for a couple of months, and then he ended up going into a different sector altogether. He ended up driving buses and all, like, you know.
he didn't get a headline in the paper, did he?
He did, believe it or not. Yeah, I was delivering the
Long
papers,
paper.
reading my dad's name. I was like, Jesus Christ. It
full
was madness.
circle.
Was it? Even driving around listening to the radio, I was like,
But that's an accomplishment in itself, because anyone that knows, you'll know anyway, the paper rounds and the milk rounds, like, they're cutthroat, like, you know what I mean? If you had lost that, like, you know.
Yeah, well, that was like that would have been the income, like, for
Exactly.
the home, like, you know what I mean. So
Important.
that's what I was like. Look, it's time to fucking grow up here, like, you know what I mean. And it is what it is, yeah. At 15, but
A lesson learned.
I wouldn't change anything, like, you know, I wouldn't change anything, like. Obviously, it would have been great for them not to get locked up. I'm not saying that, but like, as in, like, all of us in the family, like, grew us all together, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Pulled
down
in
to
together.
everything, like, I have to say, like, with even the likes of my dad's best friends, like, family members, everybody came down. Like, my dad's best friend from Belfast, and he drove down. Like, I think when my ma rang him, about an hour or two later, he was in the house with us, like, you know, like, bringing me my little sister out, like. We had great, like, he has great friends as well, like, that would have pulled through.
That is the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like when you think about how people can just disappear, like, at the worst of times, like, you know what I mean? And they leave
it's
people
not that,
hanging,
you know, if something like that happens and they're probably there for a week or two, like, in fairness to the, like, now, I think he done 9 months of the 18 months, whatever, I don't know, I can't even remember really what it was, but I can remember through it all that they were always in and around and making sure that we were all right, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just reassuring as well when you're younger and the father figure's gone, like, you know, and you're sort of like, you know yourself, but it worked out well, like, I have to say, everything worked out well, and he's a better person from it. I'm a better person from it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like, that would have built our relationship, like, very strong, like, very strong.
What was it like for, say, the likes of a friends group around the area growing up?
All my group of friends would be all still close. Everybody got into trades, different trades. Like, I think when I got into the ventilation originally, I think there was 3 of us, and then another 2 lads jumped on board as well, all doing ventilation. And I didn't even know what ventilation was. I was like, yeah, it's a job. I remember saying to me, man, and that, there's a job there, can I, like, an apprenticeship? So I was like, I want to do it, like, I don't want to do my leaving cert, I don't, like, I'm ready to leave, like.
Yeah.
But it's a bit confusing, I'm probably going off topic, but after 4th year, one of my friends that he was a year above me, he passed away. Right. So I was with him every day in school, so that was a bit of a setback, like, you know what I mean?
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, but I was with him and he went to a festival, MK it was in 2017. He went to a festival, I was with him the night before. I saw my ticket, I was like, and the young man going to that, and he was like, I don't know where to go, and we got a phone call the next day. He's gone, like, you know. But that sort of, I went a bit mad. I was like, I'm going to school. I only went with him. I went a bit into that, like, sort of self mode, like, you know what I mean? But that's what turned me sort of off school as well. That's why I didn't really carry out me leaving cert. I went when I was in 5th year when that happened, so I left 5th year. Like, and then I went back. I wouldn't mind. I went back in 6th year. Then I left in January. Like, I was just like, another couple of months, I could have just stuck the...
Was it just different then when you went back?
It was just different, yeah. Like, I had an awful lot of people approach me and saying, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" But
was he close, like?
Yeah.
So,
like, we grew up outside of school.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been hard to go back to school.
There was a good group of us, like, you know what I mean? There was always a good group of us, and we were all, like,
close
growing up since we were, like, young, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even now, like now 2 of them passed away then, but the rest of us, like, we would still be close. Like, I'd always go up to the graveyard with the lads. I'm busy, like, and lads are busy. They're all in trade as well. Like, I have a family now, like, my own family, but if I get a chance to go up to the grave and meet the lads, that's what I do. Like, you know, I don't really go for a few points on that anymore. I'm not really into that. I'm just trying to stay focused in the business, because if I start with the drinking, like, I just get carried away with it, like, you know. But
is there you know, we get it as well with the likes of Balbriggan, like, over the years, like, it's been given a name and stuff like that, and it's like being labelled as a certain area. That area, like, that you would have grew up in, like, would have probably had the same type of label attached to it, where it's, you nearly have to work harder coming out of it, like, to prove to people that you're not
sort of prove a point coming out of it.
Did you find that?
Well, yeah, I did, but again, I was growing up in Coolab, but I was originally from Belcamp then, like, you know, but you're growing up and you're messing in shops and all, like, you know, and you're sort of, like, you get a bit of stick off, like, the school guard saying, "You're not going anywhere in life," and this, that, and the other, but it always stuck with me. Like, now in school, I was always good in school, so I never got that sort of grief off the likes of teachers that you would hear about, like, you know, but I got along great with all the teachers and stuff like that, but I did always want to sort of, it's not really prove a point, I just wanted to make something to be proud of, more so, like, you know, especially with, like, I would have went through a rocky road, like, you know, like, in terms of grieving over my friend passing away then as well. So I was just like, when I was down, and I was just like, I'm not settling this little life, I'm not living this life, like, you know what I mean? I'm not going around the pest. And I went, but at the time I couldn't say that. I was sort of like, I went real selfish, like, you know, I was like, the world owes me a favour, and, like, nobody could say that to me. I was going around being bitchy and all, like, you know what I mean? So now it's time to cop on here, like, you know what I mean? But then 2019, my friend committed suicide, and that was just like, that was nearly it for me, like, you know what I mean? Like, after one death, like, that was 2017, 2 years later, there's another one.
I don't want to say you were getting over the first one, but you were probably just coming right.
But I was, not that I was getting over it, but you deal with it.
You deal with
it.
You
know what I mean? And then it's just like, here's another one, like, you're getting kicked when you're down again, like, you know what I mean? But
and
it was,
would that, you know, friends group then have been shattered from that moment then?
Yeah, we were all a bit shell-shocked, to be honest with you. Yeah, like, some lads, they turned to drink and drugs, like, you know, and you try and help them, but there's only so much talking you can do. You're struggling yourself, like, you know, I need to help myself as well, like. But I would have turned to partying and drinking and doing whatever, like, you know, just to run away. So I didn't need a job. Like, everybody owes me a favour. That was the mindset I had. And I needed to stop, because I would only ruined myself, like, you know what I mean? Whether I would have kept going, God knows what would have happened to me then. You know, because I was in like, deep depression. And then I can remember my mum actually caught me when I was out partying one of the nights I came home, and that was a godsend, you know.
I was going to ask you, was there something that pulled you back?
Yeah, that was, it wasn't even like, this or that. It was just like, I can remember my mum's face, like, you know, after me being up all night, like, and I was just like, never again am I doing that, like.
Was it you're out if you keep it up, or was it more like, look what you're doing to me type of thing? Or
look what you're doing to me, look what you're doing. It's not even that, it's like, is that what you want to do? Is that how you're going to grave? And I was just like, everything she was saying was right. I couldn't argue with her, so I was like, she is right. Like,
voice of reason.
And she reached out to Peter House, and she got in touch with, it was like, so when I started with Peter House, I done like a 6 week, like, it's not like a course, it's just like more 6 weeks assessment. and then they'd put you into bereavement, drugs, counselling, drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I went into bereavement. Couldn't cope without the lads, like, you know what I mean, the two of them. So that's how I ended up getting.
Is that like bereavement counselling?
That was bereavement counselling.
Yeah.
But if I was, say, if I had a drinking problem or if I had a drug problem, they'd say, right, I think you should go into the. Whereas I wasn't. I used to just enjoy a night out, but I'd never say that. I was.
Would your emotions got the better of you on a night out? Like, you know, as in, would it?
It'd always be brought up.
It would always be brought up, and then it just gets emotional. Then.
Yeah, it should be all would have. We were all sitting around
whinging.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I was just like, lads, we need to stop. And in fairness, everybody did pull themselves out of the door. Like everybody did. Like I have to say, all the lads are all doing well for themselves. All my friends are like they're all in the trade. Some lads, there's one or two that's accountancies and involved with insurance, PTs and DJing, and there's other lads as plumbers as well. And everyone's doing well, like, you know.
It's good.
How important is it not to put blame on yourself in situations like that for not spotting these things? The way people might think, like, I should have seen this or I should have seen that. Is that tough to deal with? Like,
yeah, now it is. Yeah, like now I'd say, like, if I was to talk back to me when I was going through all that, like, you're just like, you can't really blame yourself. Like, it's not my fault that this happened. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I shouldn't have turned to drinking or pitying myself or thinking the world owes me a favour, like, you know. Like, I should have just went head first into counselling. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I did end up doing that, but
you don't know.
I should have done it earlier. Yeah. Like, when my friend died in 2017, I should have really started that around that time. To familiarise myself with the likes of the council, because I can remember starting, I was like, oh, not the emergency.
You don't need this. Yeah.
And then I can remember COVID came in, so it wasn't face to face, and it was phone calls and work and all, and I was like, oh, sorry, 1 minute, I'll just have to take a phone call, and you're gone for an hour on it, and then you're going back to whoever you're working with, having to explain it. So it was a bit uncomfortable. Well, I would have found it uncomfortable. Now I wouldn't. Care. Now I wouldn't. But at the time, I did find it because
like a stigma. Like,
but that's what you were.
That's what it was. Like,
that's why you were here to say that. Do you know what I mean?
That's because I wouldn't. And
someone might be feeling the same way.
If anybody does watch this and thinks that, like, nobody really, like, no, I don't really see anybody that would begrudge somebody for going to council now. I think it is more sort of talked about now. Yeah, like, it can be talked about more, but I think I'd like to think that it is getting a bit better in that sort of sense, like, you know, that people are starting to talk about and normalising it, like, you know.
Yeah, like I would have mentioned on the podcast a few times before, especially on mental health episodes, where, you know, myself and the wife were going through a grieving process, like through the miscarriage, and she would have went and done bereavement counselling and come home and explain to me, like, what she would have, you know, like, let off her chest, or, you know, different emotions and stuff. And I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? I would have been the type that, like, would have went in the van, you know what I mean, just bottled it up and drove on and, you know, drive through it, like, and, you know, then it's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's, like, something down the line then, you know what I mean? And you just, it can be something simple then, and you collapse, like, you know what I mean? And it's, to let it get to that point, it's great in hindsight, isn't it? Like, it's everything's great in hindsight. Like, I shouldn't have done this, or, you know, I probably should have done that earlier, like, but you can't really make those choices when you're in the midst
you
of
don't
it,
even realise that you're going through it. You know, until you think back, like, I would have been lashing out. Like, I was an angry person, like, and, like, I can remember having a conversation with my man. She was like, "You're not being the person that you are," and I was just like, "I know," like, you know, and that was sort of where I says, I'm going to council, like, you know. But I can remember I would have been very negative to be around, like, and now, like, when I think back now, I was like, I don't know how people even put up with me, like, I would have been just draining and everybody, like, you know what I mean? But
without going too much into it, what were the type of things that they were doing with you or saying to you when you were in there, or is it, do you remember, like, or is it just a bit blurry, like?
Yeah, well, there's a bit of an awkward one, right? Because at the time I was getting involved with, obviously, I would have been partying, I would have been sort of doing drugs at the time. I was drinking and all. I was young, I was stupid, I was grieving as well. There's no excuses, but I would have been doing that.
A couple of factors,
Yeah, so I was explaining that. Now, I don't want anybody to get a bad persona of counselling. This was just sort of one bad experience I had with loads.
Yeah.
But I was having a chat with say the counsellor at the time, and she was taking everything on board of what I was saying. A couple of weeks down the line, she texted me late at night asking me, can I sort over something? And I was just like,
Jesus.
fucking hell, I'm opening up to you here. Like, you know what? I ended up getting somebody else around that time. And anyway, she was just like sort of assessing me at the time. I built up a great relationship with after that. And it turned. I didn't really look at it like a negative. I was sort of just looking at it like, what's she on about? Like, you know? Yeah. That's weird. Like, but the other girl that she put me in touch with at the time, she was great. Like, Tony, like, she was great. Like, but again, that was it came to COVID, and it was only over the phone, so I didn't really feel comfortable doing it over the phone. But yeah, that was
amazing to think that the people from literally what we spoke about for all walks of life, like, are going through something where they might need that. Like, that's somebody looking for some sort of release or relief from something.
I can remember when we started, it was 1-to-1, going through literally my first session was going through everything of the two lads passing away, like everything, like, got to do with my emotions, anger, what I'm doing, and then like she just listened to everything. She wasn't even really sort of talking back to me, so it was, after that, just like weight off my shoulders, like, you know, it felt great coming out, and I was like, I can't wait to go there next week. Like, so I was doing it once a week, like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, just the feeling that you get coming out of it. You're like a new man walking out of it. Like, I couldn't get over it, like, you know what I mean? But there was just different little, like, she'd give me different little tasks to do throughout the day, and like, whether it was cold showers or, you know, like, just things to help
Small
you,
things.
just, like, with stress or calm, and like, just get calmed down. And even the likes of chamomile tea, I can remember starting to drink chamomile tea, and I was like, convoyage drinking chamomile tea, you know, open coffee to drinking chamomile tea, and that was just calming the nerves. But it was great, like, I mean, I love all that. Even now, I love all stuff like that, you know.
Banishing the spirits away.
Like, combo, but the lads give me a bit of stick, but I love it. It gets me through it. That's my...
Just they give you the tools to work on yourself.
That's what it is, yeah. It's just... Now, you can go really further into, like, scientifically. I wouldn't really know much about it. And then the likes of the antidepressants and like stuff like that. But that's just a chemical imbalance, like, in your head. But like, if you have a sore muscle in your arm, you're going to go and get that fixed. Why wouldn't you get it fixed if your emotions are wrong? You know what I mean? People think antidepressants, but I'm not going there taking tablets. But like, I went on them at the time, and like, I went my way on them, and then went your way off them. And then you're great. Like,
sometimes you just need that block in the brain that just stops that signal that's coming in to allow you to work on yourself.
It's just like, I can remember the doctor was just saying, it's just like a chemical imbalance of your emotions and your anger, and you just need something to balance that back out, like, you know. So, but that's what I done, and went the way off, and I wouldn't look back. Like, now I feel the best I've ever felt. Like,
like, so you've obviously you have your own business now. You're busy man. What do you do now to clear the head, or keep the head clear?
I don't switch off when it comes to work. It's just go. Like, you know what I mean? When I come home, like, I struggle to switch off. Now I'm at the learning, obviously, with the baby, with my partner. You have to switch off. Like, I have a daughter at the end of the day. Like, everything can't be just work, but you have to back your head to say you need to stay on it as well. Like, you can't like get too comfortable of like going out, or, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. But walking, getting up early in the morning, having a coffee, there's just no better feeling. Is that, like, just getting up and
getting ahead of it?
Just getting in work early and all. Like, that's my sort of like
remedy.
Coping well. Like, it's, you know, you're in a good mental state. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I love. I love getting up, getting a coffee. Like, we went out and done a sea swim and all. Like, all the lads in the company, like, you know, there's 7 of us went out, and it's great. Like, all the lads are buzzing going to work. After getting a coffee and saying, look, like,
having a chat.
Suits me, suits them.
Yeah.
Like, we're having conversations. Like, that's one thing I'd always do, is link in with everybody individually, making sure everybody's happy. Because if they're happy, they're going to make me happy with working.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So
it
works both ways, but it's good to always check in with the lads and make sure that they're not struggling, like, financially, or they're struggling at home with their partner, with, you know, like, with their partners, or like, just with kids, everything, like, you know, just.
That's what you find with lads as well. Like, if they don't open up, they don't tell you. Like, as a boss or as an employer, like, you know, they might be late or they might be, you know, doing stupid things that you don't know why they're doing it, like, or it's out of character for them, like, and if they don't open up, like, you're not to know, like, you know what I mean? You're just seeing the bad workmanship, you're seeing the leaks and stuff.
Like,
So,
if you knew that somebody was struggling and like, like you have to remember, like, there's a business there as well that you are trying to run, but me personally, I'd give somebody a bit of leeway, like, you know, if they opened up and said, look, and it's a genuine reason, you'd say, yeah, well, look, I'll help you any way I can, as well. But you know yourself, some people would probably start taking the piss out of you then as well, like, and probably using that as an excuse. But there's a fine barrier there, like,
bit of give and take type of thing, like, I had a lad working with me, like, and he's just having like the worst bad run that I've ever seen anyone ever have, like, so he broke his wrist, I think I don't know, half his family members wiped out as well, like, you know, with funerals and stuff like that, like, but he's one of the good ones, you know what I mean? So you look after him, like, and keeping him paid, and, you know, I know he'll return the favour, like, he'll work Saturdays if I need him, evenings if I need him as well.
He's able to come back.
Exactly, like, so it's a bit of give and take as well at the same time. I know what you're saying about lads taking the piss as well, like, you know, there's only so many.
Well, look, I seen it, thankfully not with me, like, I have to say, the crew of lads I have now are great, all of them, like, down to, like, the lads that's only starting out as well, like, everybody's, like, they knuckle down for me, like, and
bit of a culture,
they do anything for me, like, now I would help them out any way I can myself as well, but I've seen it over the years, like, I've worked with good gaffers, like, and just the lads coming in and they're just taking the piss, like, you know what I mean, and saying, like, the lads, like, there's no need to be doing what you're doing, like, you know. Like,
lads going through about 20 grannies and grandparents and all.
yeah. Like, they're at to have 40 nannies that they're doing, 40 funerals, like, and rabbits and all they're doing, but it's just that shit, like, that you say, like, but just taking the piss, like.
Was there no other option for you? Was it always self-employment? It was always going to be.
It was always going to be self-employment, yeah. Even if it was carpentry, if it was, like, I always wanted to be my own boss. And that's not true that's not down to stubbornness. Oh, I'm not listening to anybody. It's nothing got to do with that. It's just building something that I wanted to be proud of, to be honest. Like,
and are you finished building, or is it still going?
No, I'm just about started. Like, I was trying to keep going. I have a lot to learn. I know myself, I have a lot to learn. The business is nowhere where I want it to be. I'm at a good position, don't get me wrong now, but I went out on my own 2 years ago and it's only starting to do well now. Like, at the start, I was up and down, didn't know whether I was coming or going. I got screwed over 10 grand. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, is this what this is? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like who you're trusting with as well. Like,
lessons.
Yeah. It was a rocky road when I went out on my own at the start. Like, I went out in September. That took my first job out in September. Had the baby in November. Had the baby the Wednesday and I was back in work on Monday, you know, so it was just like, all at once, and it was just like.
Did you find, I would have found that as well, like, when you're out on your own, you're so keen to get work, you say yes to everything, like. Yeah. But did you ever do you find that people would see you as a new business and vulnerable and take advantage of that?
Big time, yeah. Like, now I have to say, with the first job I done, man still gives me advice to this day. Like, I have to say, it's great. Like, you know, at the time it was great. Like, we agreed good weekly payment terms and all as a self-employed. Like, it was that was grand. Yeah, but that, like, even like, it's great. Like, I always said in the ventilation game, I wouldn't like to burn my bridges with anybody. It's a tight little circle, like, you know what I mean. So I was like, you can't fall out with him, and then it's just paper trail all the way down. Like, I was trying, but like, you're building a business, you can't keep everybody happy as well. You can't always squeeze lads in as well. But I got to a stage where I was like, they're the big company, they're cheap. I'm probably not making money off, but I'm getting in with them.
You're getting so much work as well.
Yeah, they have X amount of work, but I'm getting in with them. Yeah. And you're sort of breaking even after you're paying your lads.
That just keeps
my business isn't ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
what's it like taking other lads on and trying to get them to work to the same mentality that you have?
I wouldn't really go off like a schedule to say, yeah, he's ticking all the boxes. It's hard. It is hard. I struggle taking lads on, to be honest with you. Like, you know, I'd just go off really experience with them, and I'd have to meet up with them for a coffee for a while, have a good chat with them, and see whether
that's important, is it? Like, face to face.
I wouldn't really just take somebody on over a phone call or anything like that. I'd like to
Meet them.
Just see what they like and do a background check on them as well. Like, why are they leaving the lads crowd? I'm only starting to get up now. Why are they leaving a big company to come to me?
Yeah.
Are they sacked or are they not showing up? Like, there's a
These are
lot
the
of that.
questions you start asking.
Yeah, like you start overthinking it as well. Like, you know.
And you find when you're busy, I fell to this a couple of times. You find when you're busy that you'll meet someone, even if it's face to face, like you'll meet them, and you just know it's wrong, but you'll still take the best bits of that meeting, and you'll say, "That's he's not good at that, but he's really good at this part." Do you know what I mean? But you're nearly highlighting what he's good at, and then ignoring what he's shy at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I had lads in, and they're great metalers, like they're great doctors. They know everything, but they're just fond of the drink. They try to have a
can't
conversation
speak to
with
clients or
they're just fond of the drink. They won't show up to work. They let you down. They let do 3-day weeks, and they're like, if he came in and done a week and was like, it'd be great, like you know. What I mean? But that's his only downfall.
Yeah.
But you're trying to get into his head and see what's going on, and it just sometimes you're just talking to a brick wall, like you know what I mean. Some people just prefer sort of drinking, like you know what I mean.
Just like that's their lifestyle.
That's just their lifestyle. They're comfortable in that. And
3 days pay does them to.
And that's probably why they're gone from the last job, but they're not going to change because I have a conversation with them as well. You know,
if they didn't do it for them,
Houdini, I'm not going to start getting in their head and changing them.
The chamomile tea and
bit chamomile tea, seats with him.
But it's one of those things where you know you see the likes of the industry right now, and it is booming right now, and it's nearly a moment now for any self-employed individual, including yourself, Keith, like to grab the bull by the horns and take whatever opportunity you can to upskill and to learn new things. Do you find that's something you want to do to learn as much as you can as well while your company is growing?
Yeah, like there's a housing crisis on, so I sort of said I'm going to branch into the residential. That's what I wanted to do, and I familiarised myself. Now I still have a lot to learn in the likes of the NZ courses. I've done that. But we want to start getting into the likes of validating the ventilation, you know, after it gets commissioned and stuff like that. Commission it. Like, there's it. Like, I want to go down that sort of path of residential works. Now, commercial jobs, like, I'd never told me no to a commercial job, but I want to start focusing on, like, the apartment blocks, the housing estates, stuff like that. We have a couple on now at the moment, like, you know, like, we have over 500 units on at the minute. We finished off a big job and H&M commercial job as well, you know, so but I don't know, I enjoy doing the residential works. It's straightforward with hopes, everything. There's no sort of pricking around, and with the commercial jobs you're waiting on hopes to be done, and just it gets prolonged. You'll probably have that budgeted for 4 weeks or whatever. Now I know you will get the likes of the alterations like fixed up for it, but you might have that for 4 weeks. And you have plans after the 4 weeks, but that's getting pushed into 6 weeks. And
if you've got a partner, rinse and repeat, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, like they're just mirror image all the way up. Now, the house is there's a couple of duplexes, and there's a bit of different drawings, like, you know, like some apartment blocks. Like, I think we were on a job, we had 250 apartments.
And fancier the higher they go.
Yeah, and I think there was 100 different drawings from, they're all different layouts. It was gone bananas. It was Jesus. Then you're losing that draw. Now we end up knuckling and down to get everything organised. But at the start, you got nearly 100 drawers. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's just like, just careful.
Is that the way it works with ventilation? So in terms of install work and commissioning, is there a separate like stages you can get into it? Like,
yeah, at the moment now I'm just installing the ventilation. I want to get into then the commissioning, like making sure there's enough litres in each. You know, like the bathrooms and whether it's heat recovery or just your MEV extract system. You know, like there's different litres in like your wet rooms and your living rooms and stuff like that. But we're just first and second fixing. That's what we're doing.
Just like you wouldn't have anybody in the company like with the F-gas training and stuff like that, like, would you?
No, not necessarily. It's all more like plastic ducting that we use.
That'd be all more the maintenance end of it, wouldn't it? Like,
I think that'd be more maintenance.
That's another golden egg as well, like to get into as well. You know,
or even air conditioning, maybe. It's just like there is an awful lot now. As well as the residential works, I got into the maintenance on the fire dampers. Like we're at getting a massive job in like a private hospital in Dublin, but just about getting the second one now. Like, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
over 600 dampers in each hospital. Like, you know, and that's
Just my cogs work now. I was like thinking, you know, as yourself trying to grow, and you just think,
Yeah,
where
how do you grow?
Where
How
could
do
you
you
go?
can you add in new people into the business
Yeah.
and can actually expand it? You know.
Yeah. No, we are like that's. But I'm sort of thinking like, where should I specialise in?
Yeah.
I'm going from commercial to industrial to residential to maintenance, fire dampers.
Yeah.
But I wanna focus on
You
the
want to focus,
residential.
and my brain's just scattered. Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're going in doing what most people would consider the hard work, like the donkey work. You're going in and installing all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're the professionals, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have some lad coming in with a briefcase and
Just
a
off and getting mad money for
little
it.
sucker to put over your pipes and
Yeah.
he's signing you off.
Yeah.
Like, so the progression would be one stop.
Yeah.
I was
I'll do it
talking.
off you,
I was
you know?
talking to a fella today who was telling me he was doing a job in his house and he was getting an RSJ put in.
Yeah.
And there was an assessor coming out who just assesses RSJs, and he said he had the kettle on for me, he had the tea on for him and everything. He said, your man's going to come out now, he's going to be assessing this and he's
Just
going to
look
sign off on it.
In
He
and
said,
out.
no need to put on the kettle. He said,
That's
I just
grand.
need to look at that. It's grand, signed off 350 quid. And he said, I've got 4 more of
Sweet,
these
isn't it?
today, you know what I mean? So it's work smart, isn't it?
Well, that's what it is. Like, see with the ventilation. So if just to say if we done a floor of an apartment, we can't validate our own work. Like, there's an independent validator that has to come in. You know, so that's
Keeps us honest, like,
opportunity. Yeah, keeps it honest and say, yeah, he's at the
I'll give you a good one, right? So we put solar in our own house, right? And the BER assessor came out, right? So you get a BER after you put it in. It does the BER in the house because obviously it'll be going up a couple of grades. And your man comes, right? And he's gone up into the attic. And we were after having a couple of mice because we live beside a field, like.
Yeah.
And we had to have a couple of mice. And the missus was bringing them up, like. I was in work, like. And she said, just so you know, now there's a couple of traps up there because we've had a few mice. And he was like, no, I'm not getting up there now. I hope it's grand, no bother. So that was that done. Then start going out the back. We have an Alsatian, like, you know. And he goes out the door. It's like, so he starts to go out the door, and the dog comes across, like, and the missus is like, oh look, I'll put him around. He's grand because our boiler is in behind his kind of dog box, like. So he got, no, we'll put him around. He'd be grand. He's a pet, like, he won't go near you anyway. No, not a chance. What boiler have you got? What boiler do you have? An oil boiler, grand, tick the box.
Yeah.
350 quid as well.
There's a tiger in the sitting room, we can't go in there.
Look, that had to remind me. I can remember I got running in now when I was doing the papers with my dad, doing the papers running in out of the shop. There used to be maybe a couple of houses, you know, along the Brigham Road. Yeah. You're running in, you're getting chased out by little Jack Russells, diving head first through the window.
What would be the one thing that you'd like somebody to take away from this interview? Like, would it be the opening up the mental health and using their social media even as well to reach out?
As I said, my DMs are always open. If anybody is ever, whether it's struggling with mental health, whether it's on the edge about going out on their own. As I said, I'm not this big business person, but I'd like to be able to say, like, guide them any way I can. Down to the likes of invoices, and like somebody else could be on the same boat as me. That's probably holding them back. But the mental health. Yeah.
Where can they find you? Where can they find you online? And what's the company
on
name?
Instagram? CJ Ventilation, and I'm on LinkedIn as Cian O'Reilly as well. You know. Yeah. So I still have to get the likes of the websites and that set up.
You're busy though. Yeah. I mean, websites are
utilize AI for that. These guys, nobody's doing it by themselves anymore. You know?
That's it. Yeah, taking all our jobs away.
Before we let them go, what's the hardest question?
Spotify playlist. So you're going to be number 2 on the Spotify playlist. What would your song choice be?
Yeah, I was having a strong thing about what I was saying. That would have to be Oasis, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Little Boy Little, I like that song.
Little, yeah.
No one's picked Oasis before, have they?
No, I don't think so. No.
There you go.
You'll have to come back around and all, you know. Still trying to get tickets for it, you know.
You'll have to do something to get in there. But
pleasure.
Pleasure. Thanks very much for coming in.
Yeah, big time. We appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Thanks,
Right, season 7, episode 2, in the can. What an episode.
Yeah, brilliant episode. I'd like to say a big thank you to our 2 guests on the episode, Richard and Cian. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and this podcast has come to you from our sponsor, Robust Lighting.
And also in association with Snickers Workwear Ireland and Velocity Pro Gear.
Yeah, big shout out to them all. And like I always say, if you liked what you heard, head over to wherever you get your podcast. Give us a like and a follow to be notified when the next one drops. Take it easy.
Talk to you next week.